A Chinese factory worker casually revealed how a Louis Vuitton handbag is made, from stitching to packaging, all within a factory in China. The clip exploded online. Within days, TikTok was flooded with similar videos. Factory workers from brands like Coach, Prada, Nike, and Chanel weren't leaking secrets. They were broadcasting them. Suddenly, the luxury industry's dirtiest secret wasn't a secret anymore. Most of these supposedly European bags, they're made in China. Reports estimate that over 80% of luxury leather goods, bags, wallets, belts, are manufactured there.
In fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries.
That includes Louis Vuitton, Gucci, even Hermes. But here's the shocking part. The same factories making bags for these iconic brands are now selling direct to consumers. Same stitching, same hardware, same materials. The only thing missing? The markup. Insiders say a Louis Vuitton handbag can cost as little as $15 to produce in these factories. Yet in LV boutiques, that same bag is priced at $500, $3,000, sometimes even $5,000 or more. So what's the difference between the $15 version and the $3,000 one? Just one thing, the label. Apparently, the only part of the bag actually made in Europe is the final flourish, the branded tag, the packaging, maybe a finishing stitch or two. Just enough to legally stamp it, made in France, but the vast majority of the labor, it's happening in China, and now customers are furious. For decades, they believed they were buying exclusivity, heritage, craftsmanship. Instead, they were paying thousands for what many now call elevated knockoffs. Louis Vuitton didn't stay silent. They released a video showing French workers carefully stitching bags, clearly meant to reassure the public that production still happens in France. But the clip fell flat. It looked rushed. Some of the workers seemed out of place, like they'd never touched a needle before. Rather than transparency, it felt like a staged PR stunt. And in the eyes of many, it only made things worse. But the video looked slapped together at the last minute. Half the workers seemed unfamiliar with the tools, like they were posing, not producing. Instead of offering real transparency, it came off as a scripted PR stunt, and audiences could see right through it.
Decades, we have been conditioned to believe that China is just one giant sweatshop pumping out crap while we are the sophisticated, high-end innovators. And it turns out China has just been patiently waiting for us to be completely dependent upon their manufacturers. They have been mastering every technology, absorbing every industry, and then building an empire that doesn't need us half as much as we need them.
And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, Louis Vuitton quietly raised prices. Again. This time, it was a 3 to 6% hike across the board. Bags, perfumes, wallets, accessories. No press release, no warning. Customers walked into stores, expecting last week's prices, only to be blindsided at the register. At least Hermes had the decency to tell people, "We're increasing prices by 10% next month. Please plan accordingly." Louis Vuitton? They just took the money and kept it moving, and this isn't the first time. Remember during the COVID lockdowns when stores were closed and people were stuck at home? Louis Vuitton raised prices then. 2, blaming supply chain issues and raw material costs. They even released a factory video, hoping it would calm the outrage. But it didn't. Now things are spiraling. The company has reportedly sued several of its own Chinese manufacturers, accusing them of leaking trade secrets, violating NDAs, and giving counterfeiters the exact blueprints needed to make flawless fakes. According to insider whispers, some of these factories were producing genuine LV bags by day and replicas by night. And it's not just Louis Vuitton, Hermes is getting dragged into it too. I actually covered that in my last video, so check it out if you haven't already. Luxury brands are panicking, but instead of owning up, they're going after the whistleblowers. Meanwhile, they've shown no real proof that any of the accusations are false, aside from that awkward, overly polished factory video, and it's clearly not working. Multiple Louis Vuitton stores have been seen. Completely empty. Foot traffic is down. Now rumors are swirling that Bernard Arnault, the billionaire CEO of LVMH, Louis Vuitton's parent company, might be stepping down much earlier than expected. He was supposed to stay on until 85. He's only 76. But insiders say he may be exiting early, and here's why. LVMH just lost $9 billion in market value in a single day. After the leaks, the lawsuits, and the backlash, sales plunged, stock tanked, investors panicked. The luxury empire is cracking at the foundation, and Bernard? He might be trying to get out before the collapse becomes complete.
Whole thing with China exposing luxury brands, Lululemon, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, all of these brands is real. My parents worked in import-export my whole life. Over 30 years they have been in this. Before Alibaba was a thing, my parents were the middleman. American companies will come to them and say, hey, we want these things made in China, and my parents will go actually to China and source the goods and find the factories to make whatever product it might be. Products get shipped back to the US, they slap a label on it, they sell it at, major retail stores. I have known this, that luxury brands are made in the same factory as knockoff brands. When I was in college, I had a pair of UGG boots that just didn't have the UGG tag on it, because my parents went to the factory and they were sourcing for a shoe company. They said, hey, we're gonna send you this pair. It was literally $5. You love Uggs. It doesn't have the logo, but it's the same quality from the same factory. I have known this for basically my whole life, and the fact that this is just now coming out is hilarious to me. Just because it's made in China doesn't mean it's garbage. Just because it's made in Italy doesn't mean it's amazing, and most of the time it's not. So beware of what you're buying and don't just always buy designer things.
Here's the real game Louis Vuitton is playing. They know their brand name holds serious power. When you wear LV, you're not just accessorizing, you're making a statement. It screams wealth, status, and success. And here's the kicker. They're betting that most people care more about the logo than the origin. Even if you know the bag was made in China, they believe you'll still line up to buy it. Why? Because it's Louis Vuitton. And for a lot of people, they're right. There's a massive group of buyers who don't care where it was made, how little it cost to produce, or who got exploited in the process. As long as the logo is real, they're in. But not everyone feels that way. Some customers feel duped. And let's be clear, bags are not investments. Let's stop pretending they are. So now we have to ask, if Chinese manufacturers can sell the exact same bags directly to consumers, do we even need luxury brands anymore? Is it really about craftsmanship? Or just a logo? Because if that illusion breaks, if people stop buying for the clout, the entire luxury market could collapse. Think about it. How much are you really paying for the bag? And how much are you paying for the idea of the bag? Honestly, I'm still trying to process all of this. For a brand that built its image on prestige and authenticity, this feels like a betrayal, especially to the loyal customers who supported them for years, but that's just my take. I want to hear from you. Is this the beginning of the end for luxury as we know it? Do you still trust these brands? Or does the logo still carry the same weight for you, no matter where it's made? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm reading every single one. And if this video opened your eyes, consider subscribing. I've got more deep dives coming, and trust me, it only gets more real from here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.